Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Halloween. If you're celebrating all that. Sorry for being late. Y'all know what time it is. I got a kid. I'll rant on that later. For now, though, we got a lot to discuss. Texas Longhorns are getting ready to face Vanderbilt on Saturday. Number 9 ranked team coming into DKR. Texas is back home for the first time since September, right? They haven't been at home and at all in the month of October. So, man, it's crazy. We're going to talk about that. Steve Sarkisian spoke to the media yesterday. We'll have that. Injury report came out last night. We'll have that. We'll have my 5 keys. I mean, I got a lot to discuss. I will make up for being late. I promise you. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. And I didn't know Halloween costume this year. I got a costume, but I'm doing that later tonight with my girl, and it matches that thing. But if I just put it on now, it's not gonna make no sense. So yeah, she's like the Statue of Liberty, and I'm like wearing like an I Love New York shirt with like looking like a tourist and everything. But that would just like look corny for y'all. So, any case, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. I 100% appreciate everybody. All right, last night, couldn't get an answer. Last night, the injury report came out. I'm in a good mood. Friday, just so y'all know, it's the first time you're watching the show. A long time watching the show. Friday is a chill day for me. Friday is a real relaxed, chill day for me. I try to send y'all into the weekend in a good mood because usually on Fridays I'm in a good mood. So you're gonna get it all kinds of stuff from me today. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride because we're so funkified. All right, this is the injury report came out on Thursday. You don't really have to worry about anybody from a Vanderbilt standpoint. Unless you were really, really worried about Drew Dickey being out. Damn it! How will Texas be able to overcome Drew Dickey's not being here? No, anyway. The good part is, as relates to Arch and Taft, and mainly Arch in this conversation, the good part is that he's still questionable, which means that there are no setbacks so far, right? And so, that is good, And so, as he continues to go through the protocol, it's trending in the right direction for him, and of course, hopefully, hopefully when the report comes out tonight, we're able to see that he moves from questionable to probable, but he might be questionable tonight as well. And then they say, hey, let's just wait until tomorrow morning, and then we go from there. But nonetheless, he that's trending in the right direction for him. And then, of course, we got Michael Taft, and he's practicing, and so we've got that one as well. So probably some good things as far as the injury report is concerned. All right. So that's some good stuff as relates to that. So I can take that one off and take that one down. I think we can all agree that having Michael Taft in the game is a good thing, right? Especially after what we saw this past week without him. You're like, oh Lord. It's like, so I mean, we all appreciate Michael Taft. Like, let's not get it twisted, right? Everybody appreciates Michael Taft, but it's sometimes those little reminders, like, damn, this world would be kind of crazy without him. And so yeah, we do have that. Let me show you what games we got going on this weekend, so y'all know how to kind of plan accordingly. You guys know that if you guys want to go up to a TCH Social off of Anderson Mills, some of you guys have gone there to watch the game. Really good environment. It's kind of like I'll be honest with you. I don't play cards. I'm not a real card person. I don't play poker or anything like that. And don't take away my black card, but I don't know how to play spades. Because people who play spades don't know how to teach people who don't know how to play spades. And so they're not patient. And people get mad when you mess up their books. So I don't do cards, but I do big screen TVs and I do drinks. And TCH has got all of those things covered for you, plus good food. So if you're looking for a spot to go watch the game, that's a good one. If you want to be around some Longhorn fans. If you want to be by yourself and just curse at the screen, well, then so be it. But I'm just giving y'all some ideas. Vanderbilt at Texas, that's the 11 o'clock game. That's the early game. We get to kind of get in and get out and then chill out for the rest of the day. We got Florida versus Georgia. And really, if you're Texas at this moment, what you really want, you just want everybody to lose. Everybody who's ranked ahead of you, you just want them teams to lose. That's it. That's it. So you want Florida to somehow pull it off against Georgia. Just give them another loss in the SEC. Mississippi State versus Arkansas. This should be titled "Someone Has to Win." Someone has to win this game. Both teams are 0-4 in the SEC. Somebody's got to win. Someone's got to give. My money would be on Mississippi State, but it's at Arkansas, so who knows? These are two bad teams. South Carolina at Ole Miss. Again, you would just have to hope for a miracle there. Kentucky at Auburn, nobody cares. And then Oklahoma at Tennessee. And we'll be watching that on Saturday night. Just for the car crash aspects of it. Like you just want to see if Oklahoma crashes out the way that we think Oklahoma's going to crash out for the rest of the year. So that's what you'll be watching to see, hey, do they suffer another loss this upcoming weekend? Bye teams, Alabama, LSU, Missouri, and A&M are listed as the bye teams this upcoming week. So, again, with those guys, Alabama being ranked ahead of them, Texas A&M being ranked ahead of them as well. Those things be kind of, you need those teams to lose. Now, here's what's interesting. Let me just do this. Let me do this right quick. I'll do a couple of things. I want to show y'all this though. Maybe put this on the screen. Hold on, let me find it real quick. Now let me go to standings. And I'm gonna put this on the screen for y'all because I think this will be kind of good because I think the thing that I'm wanting to focus on. Okay, let me stop this here. All right, give me 1 second. I'm working it. It's a one-man show. I'm doing this like, hey man, I'm the host. I'm the producer. I do the graphics. I got 5 jobs here. Hey man, like that's what I'm doing. So y'all just give me a second here. Let me throw that. No, this one I want to throw. All right, here we go. Got it. All right, just so y'all can see. I'm gonna make this screen a little bit bigger too. Hold on, let me see if I can do this real quick. All right, that should be better for y'all who are watching at home. Okay. What the hell? What the hell just happened? The hell? I just had this thing on the screen. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is where your standings are because I want you to see this. So we kind of go as we go into the last 4 games of the season for Texas. So you guys can see the sense of urgency that needs to be had. Like it's crazy that we waited all summer long, all spring, all summer, and now we got 4 regular season games left. And Sarkisian and I asked him about that, and you'll get into some audio of that. So you can see right now the crazy part. If you just focus in on conference records, right? If you just focus in on these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams, right? Texas, if we just talk about from a conference standpoint, still very alive. Really. Okay. So you've got A&M at 5-0. You got Alabama at 5-0. So those are your 2 undefeated conference teams. And then right now I'm focusing mostly on the conference. And then before we get into the playoff stuff, right? So those teams are undefeated. And I'm gonna get into their records in a second. Okay. As far as schedules, I apologize, in a second. The good part for Texas, y'all, if you look at this, if Texas can beat Vanderbilt, if Texas can beat Georgia, and Texas beats A&M, that pretty much puts them into the SEC championship game. That will do it. Even if those other teams don't lose anything else, Texas would have the tiebreakers, right? Now, there's an Ole Miss conversation to be had, but nonetheless, I don't know what Ole Miss is going to do, right? But we'll get into that in a second. Texas has a great shot, and at worst, if they can run the table and beat 3 ranked teams, even if the math doesn't have them in the SEC championship game, Texas is in the playoffs. That's just simplistic. Texas should be in the playoffs, right? So just I want you to keep that in mind from the sense of urgency. Now, here comes the question. And okay. The other day I tried to do the schedules thing. It didn't work out that well with my producer. All right, let's see if he did it better today. Okay, this one, and he loves that Elko photo, by the way. Tyler, thank you. Ooh, let me tell you, my dude gave me this hot jumbled mess the last time, and it was just everywhere, right? Like it was hard, I couldn't read it. I was like, hey man, can you do me a favor? First of all, you gave me Vanderbilt twice. Can you just do it again where I can actually read it? And he did it today. So I appreciate you, Tyler. Thank you so much. So let's look at the remaining schedules of everybody else here over the next few games. So you got Texas A&M. They got Missouri coming up, South Carolina, Samford, and then Texas. The reality is, and I don't know why, I thought Texas A&M played Missouri this weekend, but maybe I'm wrong. It said they're not playing, but I don't know why. I don't know why I thought they were playing this weekend. I guess they are. It is next weekend. Okay. That's a test for them being on the road. And then after that, I mean, it's pretty much smooth sailing for them. So, and even with one loss, that won't be the thing, the nail in their coffin. So Texas A&M has got a pretty good route, not only potentially to the SEC championship game, but the playoffs for sure. Alabama is there, and Alabama really should not lose another game. They really shouldn't. They play LSU. That's somewhat of a train wreck at this moment. They play Oklahoma, which we're not 100% sold on. That being said, I wouldn't mind, and you wouldn't mind Oklahoma winning. Eastern Illinois and Auburn. And so you look at Alabama's schedule and you're like, I don't know how many more games they're going to lose. You look at Georgia. In Georgia, I mean, they play Florida. They're a better team than Florida. They're at Mississippi State. They play Texas. They've got Charlotte. Like, look. I love the SEC, boy. They and the thing is, what they do, they schedule these soft ass teams like late, like right before the rivalry game. They got Samford as a tune-up, and then Texas. Alabama's got Eastern Illinois before they play Auburn. Georgia's got Charlotte before they play Georgia Tech. Like, there's something to be said for this. Like, Chris Del Conte, take some notes. Ask for some favors. I'm just saying. Ole Miss, their route is pretty easy. South Carolina, not good. Citadel, not good. Florida, not that great, even though Texas fans, we would say, well, speak for yourself. And then Mississippi State, right? And then there's Vanderbilt, who's got the tough game this weekend. So we hope. Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee. Even if Vanderbilt still has that 10-win potential. So this is what lies ahead for these teams, for these programs that Texas has faced. And of course, Texas has the tougher. That's the problem. They have the tougher route, and the tougher route also is because of how Texas has played. But they of course, we know Texas has got Vanderbilt, this upcoming weekend, a bye week the following week, followed by at Georgia, Arkansas at home, and then Texas A&M at home, right? And so we know, I mean, tell me in the chat what you think Texas, give me your record for Texas in the chat, right? Just tell me what you think Texas is going to look like when it's all said and done. And let me stop sharing the screen, by the way. I need to stop, take that off. Tell me what you think Texas' final record is going to be. I'm going to give you a chance to amend that. So in the chat, let me know what you think. Do you think Texas finishes 8-4? Do you think Texas is going to finish 9-3, 10-2? What do you think is going to be the final outcome for your Longhorns? And Harish's first in there as well. Okay, so Steve Sarkisian spoke to the media yesterday. And I don't even know if they even put that on YouTube anymore. I don't know. People have asked me about this, and I don't know. Tex Blonde is in the house. Harish is in the house. Good to see you guys. Darian's in there as well. Oh, wow. Okay, all right. I'm seeing a lot of 9-3s. The question is, and as y'all put your records in, and I love this. I love this because it's good. This is good for me, by the way. It's good for me to kind of get a pulse for how you guys feel. If you're going 9-3, 8-4, who the losses to as well? Can you do that for me as well? Who the losses to? Okay, so Sark addressed the media yesterday, and wait. Did he put? Oh my God! Did he? Is this? He says Sark on Caldwell. Wait a second. Let me ask him. Wait. Did you put the audio in there? Okay. Sark did address the media yesterday, and I had planned to do that and show you some bits and pieces of it. But it looks like I may. Yeah, all right. My producer's putting this in there. Tyler, I see Sark on Caldwell, but I don't see the audio from yesterday. I don't know if you're going to upload that or not. But as he's working on that for me, I would just say this: for me, and we'll get into some of the audio in here as well. For me, it's really about the realization of, you said it's in video storage, okay? Sark on Caldwell? Let me see.
Sark, I guess with the Arch and the protocol, this is the first time Caldwell's worked with the ones on Monday.
That's not it, Tyler.
What's the challenges of even a veteran working with the ones for the first time?
Well, I think the good thing for Matt, he's a very
even. Not, dude. Tyler, you put it on the screen for me then, because I'm looking here and I don't see it, and this is making for really bad. It's not here. It's all I see on my end is Sark. I don't see that on my end. Can you play it then if you can do it? Because it's not on my end. Is making for really.
Yeah, I mean it's a challenge both ways because I think one thing is because of the multiplicity of personnel groupings and formations and run schemes, you got to make sure your gap integrity is sound in all the looks that they can give you. And so there's times when sometimes zone coverages are a little easier to adjust things out. Sometimes man is a little easier to adjust out. But always on the back burner is how are you going to account for the quarterback? And how are you going to account for the quarterback in the designed quarterback runs to make sure you have enough hats to fit the designed quarterback runs? You always have to account for, do you have enough people to defend the triple option, which is a factor. And then you have to make sure that if they do throw the ball, that you have the ability to defend the ad lib plays and when he starts to scramble and move out of the pocket. And it's not always to run. One of his bigger plays last week was on a broken play, throwing it back to the running back for a critical first down. So, really disciplined eye control, really disciplined in our zone drops, really disciplined in man of our rush lanes integrity of trying to cage that pocket. I mean, all those things are going to play a part, as it points to it, So I just don't think we can be one dimensional. They're too well coached. They got too good of a scheme. We're going to have to continue to mix our looks and try to make things, difficult on them and try to create some negative plays.
Hey, Steve, they play a different tempo than most teams you guys have come up against. Very, very deliberate, a little bit slower. How much pressure does that put on your defense, even more to get off that field on third down to try to get your offense some reps?
Well, I think that's one of the keys to their success, right? They're one of the top third down teams in the country. I think they're over 50%, maybe 52% on third down. Which is an excellent number. And part of that is they generally move the ball forward. They run the ball, they get themselves in third and short situations, they convert third downs, they stay on the field. And then that allows them to be an efficient offensive football team. And so the idea is how well can you do on first and second down, to put yourselves in a winning situation on third down. And then when they do get to the red area, to doing a great job of playing red zone lockout and keeping them out of the end zone. On the flip side, offensively, that it's probably more pressure there to remain efficient on the offensive side of the ball. Just knowing how deliberate they can play, and it's a nice style of play. They do a good job of playing complementary football. Vanderbilt does, and so your ability to remain efficient offensively, I think, is equally as important.
Good morning, Coach. Hey, I know you like to take everything week by week, but with 4 regular season games remaining, do you have big picture conversations, with your team about that, or do you just still try to stay singularly focused?
No, I mean, I'm the one thing about me with our team. I'm not naive that they don't read and see and understand. And so I want to make sure that they can understand my perspective. So I had about a minute and a half discussion about what your point is. We've got 4 regular season games to go. And
this is big.
If we can handle our business, we have as good as opportunity as anybody to play in the SEC championship game and be part of the college football playoffs. But none of that is going to happen if we don't handle business this week. And so as long as that just went for you guys, for me to explain what it is, that's about how long I talked to the team. Then our focus went right back into this game. This is the most important game of the year, because without this game, those other 3 games, they lose the impact of what they could matter down the road. So we got to pour all of our energy and our efforts into this one for Saturday.
Good morning, Coach. On the same idea that you've talked about with the culture of your team and needing this big game being the most important game of the season for your team, knowing that there's a chance that both number 16s, captain of the defense and Michael Tapp, captain of the offense and Arch Manning, not playing on Saturday, are you feeling other leaders of the team, or even some of the players that are younger, are stepping up in their leadership mentality, or just bringing more intensity to the practices this week?
I think that's a great point. And I think a lot of guys have grown over the past month. And I know it's easy to point to now this week, like the guys have been growing into this role. I've said, I think DJ Campbell has grown into the leader that I was hoping he was going to be, 6-7 months ago. And now, where his leadership's at. DeAndre Moore has grown into that role. I think Parker Livingstone has grown into that role. Obviously, what Trey provided when he got back, I think has helped us immensely. Trevor Gooseby on the defensive side of the ball was probably a little easier. When you have Ethan Burke, Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons, Manny Muhammad, those guys were easy. But to watch the progression of Jelani McDonald, to watch the progression of Anthony Smith, which we touched on. You guys have heard me rave about Leon Galafau, but I've been talking about Hero Canoe, Cole Brevard, Alex January's coming out of his shell. And so I'm watching a team mature every single day. And I know there's a focal point on this week, and that's understandable, but I've been watching a lot of these guys grow up and mature over the last month. And I think that's why their connectivity is better, because guys are feeling a lot more confident and comfortable in being vulnerable and being honest with one another, taking accountability for maybe when they're not on point, and then having the ability to step up and to lead in their own right. So it's a good place to be that way for us. If I didn't have these 2 guys earlier in the year, I would not feel as comfortable. But now going into this game, I feel a lot more comfortable if I don't have those two, knowing that we have the leadership on
both sides. Man, look here, y'all. Sometimes it is what it is. But any case, all right, finally got the audio. It wasn't on my end. Like it just a lot of stuff going on. It is what it is. But we good now. And I just think out of all that, I thought Sark said a lot of good things, right? I just thought, like, but I do appreciate him really just kind of laying it on the line. Like, man, you got if you don't win this weekend, you probably the next 3 games are cool, but it's not the standard of what we were thinking. What you were thinking, he was thinking, I was thinking, anything like that. Like, you don't beat Vanderbilt. Now we're just talking about bowl games. And that ain't fun. That ain't fun. Like, we all want to on Tuesday watch the college football playoff rankings come out, and we want to be able to watch Texas and see where Texas is and have the conversations about Texas. Like, we don't want to be talking about Cheez-It Bowls, going to Memphis and going to, I don't know, wherever Oklahoma was last year, talking about a matchup versus Navy. I mean, I hope Texas could beat the Navy, but hell, I don't know. So, in any case, this is important. This is for all the bananas. Now, all the bananas? I don't really. Marbles. I think I don't know what the. Anyway, so weird reference. I don't even know. This counts. Now, I think I'm gonna get into my keys in a second, and I do think that this is a game where Texas hasn't been home in a while. And I feel like this could be one of those games where Texas just has one of those out-of-body experiences and just opens up a can of whoop ass. But I haven't seen enough of it this year for me to just 100% co-sign on that, So I'm going to take a more cautious approach to the things that we're going to talk about as I get into my keys to the game. But what I'm going to say is this team is so unpredictable, and this team is up and down, right? One week they play in Florida and they lose, and you're like, God damn, this is some BS. Like, this team, this team ain't good. And then they beat Oklahoma. And you're like, oh, snap. All right. Well, look, this team is okay. We all right. We all right. We gonna be all right. We all right. Okay, cool. And then they play Kentucky. And it takes overtime to beat them. You're like, oh my God, here we go again. This is some BS. And then for 3 quarters versus Mississippi State, you're like, man, this is some real BS. And then the 4th quarter, overtime happens, and they say, oh, maybe? So when we go into Vanderbilt, if anybody tells you, I know for sure X, Y, and Z is going to happen, they lying. They lying. Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop your lying. They're lying. They're lying to you because we know this team is so up and down. Now, this could be a game that we know, hey, Texas could come out and just click on all cylinders. We're like, now they cooking. Or this could be a game like looks like all the others. All right. So let's get into my 5 keys. My first key is going to be like what I've had for the other few weeks because it's still relevant, especially if he comes back. Do not get Arch Manning killed. Now, this is a 2-part thing for me, okay? Because this does reflect on the offensive line, sure. Like that's the obvious, right? The interior, the guard positions, right? We can talk about that. You guys can have your Stroh and your Robertson's conversations, and you guys can talk about like everybody else, who's on that line, right? Nick Brooks, that's the kid I was trying to think of. But at the end of the day, there's one part of it. The second part, too, though, is if you know this line struggles to hold up, then sometimes some of those slow developing plays, I say slow developing, where a guy has to get 20 yards down the field in order to now make their move, you might have to tell yourself, I don't know we can do that. We may not be able to do that. We may not be able to dial that up that much. We might have to do some bubble screens, right? Some slants, some quick stuff. Like you might have to do some things like that. The Ryan Wingo, and I'll get to Ryan Wingo in a second, because y'all know how I feel about that. A lot of it, when you go back and look and watched it, it wasn't necessarily like Ryan Wingo opened 40, 50 yards down the field, and that's what he did. Ryan Wingo essentially was getting plays that you kind of draw up for a running back, which is, hey, just throw it out there to them, and then just let them be athletic. It wasn't necessarily like, like some of the things that maybe like a Parker Livingston does, right? It wasn't like necessarily like that, right? But it worked. So the long story short is he's got to get the ball out of his hands, and they got to protect up front, because my man comes back, especially after dealing with a brain injury. Like the thing that he needs and he can't not have, man, he can't be taking more hits like that. I said it for weeks. Hey, if Arch keeps taking hits, his body's not going to hold up. It just is what it is. And I said it. I didn't want to be prophetic about it, but, it was just simple. It was simple science. It wasn't nothing too fancy. First thing is you cannot get Arch Manning killed. Okay. Number two, I go to this. I'm going to say it because Ryan Wingo, look, I like Parker Livingston. No, this is not a Parker Livingston conversation. But Ryan Wingo needs to be the number one guy. He needs to be the number one option. That has to happen. For this offense to be dynamic, he's got to be that dude. He just has to. And when you saw what they were able to do against Mississippi State and to build up those points, it was because of Wingo. They need that dynamic kind of playmaker. You got to find ways to get him involved. And again, that's why I go back to Sark, found the ways. He's like, all right, all this, I got to get you downfield kind of stuff. That's cool. But you know what? If I could just get you the ball right here and let you do what you do, so be it. Get Ryan Wingo involved. If you get that guy involved and you get him cooking, and especially you look at his yak, because his yak, I think his yak last week, yards after contact, yards after catch, excuse me. I think that was like $130, something like that. So that yak has got to be good for him. So 100%, I want that. Number three. Can't stop. Can only hope to contain. You gotta contain this dude. Now, the thing is, I know he can run. I know he's got some wheels. I know he's got some jets on him. I get that, right? But Texas has got fast guys on defense. Let's not act like this is high school. We're talking about one of the best defenses in the country. He's not going to take off and go for 60 or 70. Like, that's not going to happen. He just don't have the speed against the Texas DBs. Even if he got loose, someone's going to track him down. But you got to be able to contain him. You got to be able to keep him inside the pocket and really challenge him. Because, we talk about this offense kind of being more of a ball control kind of offense. And so because they're kind of a ball control kind of offense, and we give them a lot of credit for that, they're not that great at controlling the ball. Like, I know people talked about their time of possession, but I would have looked it up because a lot of numbers don't. Vanderbilt's ranked 8th in the conference as far as time of possession goes. Texas is ranked 11th. Okay, so their time of possession in most games, they're averaging about 30 minutes, 45 seconds. Texas is at like 29, 32. So it's not like Missouri's at 34. Like, that's a whole 4 minutes, right? That's a huge difference. Georgia's at 33. So it's not like when people's like, well, they like to limit your possession. It's not like they're doing it that great to a point where you have to say to yourself, like, whoa, but it's enough. It's enough that you got to recognize it. Contain Diego Pavia. I think that's a major key. Number 4, it's kind of simple, which is, run the ball. You got to find a way. You're not going to have 1,000-yard rusher this season. You can hang that up. Okay, that's not going to happen. So unless Texas just goes deep in the playoffs, and one of these guys gets hot, but you got to find a way. Whether it's Baxter, Wisner, got to run the ball. Got to be able to. Again, you look at what they were able to do against Oklahoma. You want that. You want that. You've got to find a way to get that push. You got to find a way to get that surge. And then, from a running back standpoint, I just got to be honest with y'all. Y'all got to make people miss. You got to make people miss. I understand the offensive line. That's one component of it. Running backs, though, you've got to be elusive. You really have yet to see a running back just make a guy miss, juke him, lose him, and then, go and take it to the house. Like, you haven't really seen that. That's what needs to happen when we talk about running the football. There's more components to it. I need to see some elusiveness here. Now, I need to see that stutter step. I need to see that quickness. I need to see that burst. Got to be able to run the ball. And number 5, you know what? I've said this all year long, but guess what? When he does it, the results end up being pretty damn good, which is now he understands, okay, I got Mason Shipley. Yeah, I'm going to take the points. I don't necessarily have to go for a 4th down all the damn time. Just take the points. Keep yourself in the game. Don't take yourself out of the game and make it harder on yourself, man. Just keep yourself in the game. Take the points. That's what he did that against Kentucky. You saw what's able to happen, right? Just go ahead and stack them and stack them and stack them. So now you're not just putting yourself in these desperate 4th down situations. Continue to take the points. If you continue to do that, I think, again, they got a chance to win. Now, I'm sorry. This team is frustrating me. If they're frustrating me, I know they're frustrating me. They're frustrating me. I said last week, this was really a toss-up game for me versus Mississippi State. I was like, I'm just not quite sure, right? I went with Texas, low-scoring game, by the way, which I thought Texas would be a more low-scoring than it was. Did not expect Mississippi State to put up no kind of points on this defense. I just didn't. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna revert to the norm. I'm gonna give you my prediction. I hope I'm wrong. I'm gonna go Vanderbilt 20. I know y'all like me too. Texas 17. But listen. If I'm wrong, y'all have permission. My permission on Saturday in the post game to come in and just dunk on me. I mean, dunk on me. Vince Carter, dunk on me. Y'all, you have my permission. I want to be wrong. So we're clear. I want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. And I'm a Capricorn. And if you know anything about Capricorns, you know we love to be right. We love to be right. I want to be wrong. So I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I hope I'm wrong. But my issue with this team is that they've struggled for the most part against teams that they should not have struggled against. And now they're starting to play against what we would consider to be good teams. Now, and maybe you say, well, Oklahoma's a good team. I don't know. But I'm hoping that all is right in the world. I'm hoping this team goes back to our preseason expectations of them. I hope Arch comes in there and lights it up. I'll be honest with you. I hope it's like 31-15. I'll take 9-3 if Texas wins. I don't care. But right now, I've been giving them the benefit of the doubt for so long. And I just hope I'm 100% wrong. And if I am, come in the post game, dunk on me, Tell me you didn't believe all that, and you know what? I'll gladly take it. I'm sorry for being late. Sorry for being late. If you guys have kids, grandkids, know of kids, I don't understand. And I'm going to sound old for a second and give me a 30-second rant. I don't understand that why when it's warm outside, my son wants to put on a hoodie. And I don't understand when I tell him it's 40 degrees outside, that he comes down the stairs wearing a short sleeve shirt and shorts. Bro, I just told you it's 40 degrees outside. What? I don't understand that when it's hot, they want to dress warm, and when it's cold, they want to dress like it's hot. I don't get this. I know this is my old man rant, but I don't get it. And then I understand, like, it just everything took forever this morning. Just get this, get that, get this, get that. Is this in the sink? Is this here? Why is this? It was just one of those mornings. It was just one of those mornings, that parental mornings that I'm sure all of y'all have had. And that's where I was with my son this morning. That's why it took me forever. I'm like, bro, you got me late for my show. You've got me late for my show. And I was like, I don't want to send him to school in a bad mood. So I didn't want to go off too much, but that's what ended up being late. But anyway, it's these kids. But hey, old school reference. This year, Halloween fell on a weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys are going trick or treating. I hope someone, please tell me someone gets that reference. I hope you guys go out there and have a safe one this weekend if you're doing that. I wasn't allowed. My mom didn't let me do Halloween much when I was a kid. I grew up in a church family, church household. You'd be like, Amor, you went to church? Yes, for all my life. Probably why I act the way I do now. But yes, I didn't get a chance to do it. My kids will be out. They'll be doing their thing. If you guys have your kids out there, be safe. And I hope you guys enjoy yourself. I will be back. Tyler, he didn't put the promo for the post-game. The post-game show. He didn't do the promo for that. I don't know what's going on. My man Tyler's having a rough week. I need to check in on him. Y'all have a good weekend. Go out there, do something special for yourself. Enjoy yourself. Have a fantastic day. I'm hoping on Saturday we're talking about a Longhorn victory. I sure hope, because it sure as hell beats the alternative, which is I don't want to do. So hopefully we're talking about, because I know if the Texas loses, y'all ghosting me next week. I already know. I ain't gonna see nobody. I'll be doing this show by myself. So anyway, I hope you guys go out, have a fantastic weekend. Do something special for yourself. Remember, I always say, live each day like it's your last, because one day it will be. So go out there, have a great day, have a great Friday, have a fantastic weekend. Splurge on yourself. Do something nice for yourself, even if it's buying yourself a sandwich for Jersey Mike's, or I don't know, whatever it is. Buy yourself a candle, whatever. Fellas, do something for yourself. And by the way, fellas, last thing, real quick. This is 15 seconds. Fellas, if you haven't been to the doctor in a while, go and get yourself checked up. I need all of y'all here for a very long time, and I need y'all. I don't even like to ask people anymore how they doing. I prefer to ask people, how's your health? When's the last time you went to the doctor? So, fellas, make sure you guys go and get checked up, because that's important as well. All right, that's it. I made up for it, hopefully a little bit. Let's go. Let's get this Texas victory, man. We need to have this. All right, y'all take care.